I had an epiphany over this weekend, Craig.
Mm-hmm.
You know, me and my homies, we talk hip hop all the time. We always talking music. You know what I'm saying? Our reacts, videos is doing their thing. Shout out to everybody who listen to the react. So, we always talking hip hop, reacting to hip hop music. And then just with all the things I was discussing over the weekend, shout out to the good commenters, the irritating commenters, everybody, the homies and shit.
More shout out to the people showing love, though.
Yeah, please, way more shout out to y'all. But y'all ain't give me the idea for this conversation. But so I'm thinking about everything I'm talking about. I'm like, you know what? When I start thinking deeper into it, I feel like hip hop fans started to kill hip hop long before the rappers.
Oh man,
I think I'm gonna stand on it.
It's a convo to have. I'm not sure. I'm almost certain I disagree, but I'm willing to have a convo on that though, because it's not one of those things that you just throw away and be like, nah. I can see somebody believe in that, and I can see some strong points for it.
So I'm gonna get into my suits bag. I'm gonna go into lawyer bag. You know what I'm saying? Exhibit A, right? As hip hop became more popular in the 80s, right? And we had artists coming out and business started getting involved, right? And say you had an artist like Public Enemy.
Okay.
Right? Public Enemy started doing their thing, then all of a sudden, it was a bunch of trying to be conscious rappers, all trying to fit into that sound, right? Remember? Hold on, let's just follow along.
We had a lot more. We had a lot more
right?
conscious rappers prospering at that time.
But
yes.
All of a sudden, you had these different sounds start spearing out. You had Cool G raps. You had other stuff. So you had fans migrating to different sounds. Everybody wasn't listening.
Gangsta?
Hell yeah, Cool G rap. What?
Was he the first Gucci Mane?
if he was from down south, yeah.
Oh man,
like Cool G rap is like 38 Special got a song called album called Son of Cool G Rap. You got Cool G on there now, still getting busy.
I didn't know.
60s,
I've heard about
busy.
him, but I didn't. Kool Mo D, Big Daddy Kane,
Rakim,
Public Enemy, Rakim. That's who my uncles had me on when I was growing up. So Cool G Rap, while I know who he is and heard the stories.
Cool G Rap would have been like that era's Griselda.
Okay.
Him.
Oh.
He the one that underground, everybody's like, nah, Cool G, what? Cool G get busy. But that's what I'm saying. You had people that bump Public Enemy.
So to your point, it was it was at a time where these things was prosperous and Cool G Rap wasn't. So he had to be underground because he wasn't getting the industry push.
He didn't get an industry push, but he had his own audience that rock with him. Everybody else, you had LL, you had different people still prospering too, even though it was a era of trying to get that in there. It was other people prospering where you liked them. You had NWA come out on the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was prospering, but when NWA came out, they were so big that it was a shift again. Now it was about gangster music, right?
Yeah.
And all the fans started wanting to hear more gangster music.
Yeah.
So as that,
I remember.
you know what I'm saying? You remember that? You know what I mean?
Easy E, oh
What?
man,
You heard Easy? Nigga, it was like,
man.
then you had UGK down south doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? Early '90s, you had the street music. A lot of people now, you don't want to hear none of that conscious stuff. Tupac came through the door, and what made Tupac unique, he can give you the good conscious songs. He can give you the Dear Mamas. He can give you the Brenda Had a Babies. And then he can give you Ambitions as a Rider and all that stuff fire. Tupac was the first rapper that was able to be hypocritical and you didn't question any of it. You didn't question it.
Yeah.
Because he was a human being. He was up, he was down, he was intelligent, he was crazy, he was all that. He was able to do it. So you had fans who love Pac, but you had fans who love Scarface. You had fans that love Biggie too. You had fans who love, at that point, you had like Twista in the Midwest doing his thing. You had Outcast. Everybody could love everybody. It wasn't like you had to necessarily be this, but we can love everybody.
I would just only say to that point, it was all these artists was around at a time where you was getting the Jay-Z and the DMX in Chicago because that's who was big. We didn't really know nothing too much about the people who wasn't blowing up like that. We also didn't know how New York felt, so to speak, because it wasn't an internet like that where everybody's feelings was instantly put out there. So now everybody could be celebrated like that because they have their own section, so to speak. I hate to be a separatist, but like you had a Twista in the Midwest because the Midwest was Twisters. You had UGK in the South because the South was UGKs or Outcast or whatever. The East was Jay-Z's or Camerons or Dipsets or whatever. Like you had pockets for people to be celebrated in, and I'm sure it was beef within it, but for lack of a better word, to fight over in those. Now it's a worldwide thing, and it's just a lot more people being a lot more opinionated and comparing all the rap.
I'm so glad
to the rap in their region.
I am so glad you went there, Greg. Because now let me go ahead and get to the next point, right? What you saying would make sense, right? But I think this. We did listen to people from other places. I'm from Michigan. I did grow up listening to UGK. I did listen to Outcast. I did listen to Spice One. I also listened to, you know what I'm saying, Esham. I also listened to, you know what I'm saying,
Shout
the
out to
Dayton
Esham.
family. You know what I'm saying?
Him.
The local people too. We heard all that. You know what I'm saying? MC Breed. We heard all that stuff still in the SAG, right? But at the same time, we also heard music from other places. So I used to love Mace. You know what I'm saying? I had an idea what was going on, and I can appreciate all the different type of sounds, all the different type of styles, because that wasn't in my environment. I love when I went to Chicago and we listening to Do You Wanna Ride?
Yeah.
Like it was like a whole different vibe.
That's a Midwest thing, though. A lot of people give us that. That's how a lot of our artists also versatile, and we able to do so much is because we was in the middle of we was the melting pot before the internet was there, musically at least, to where we would listen to everything. You would hear stories about, I'm not going to say like I know it, but you would hear stories about in New York, they're not listening to L.A. In L.A., they're not listening to New York. Gucci will tell you all the time, we don't bump Jay-Z in the South. Like, it was separate like that. But in the Midwest, like I'm the same way. I'm listening to all of this. I love Jealous Guy from Mace on Harlem World. Just as much as I love Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style, it ain't no fun. Like, I'm just listening to everything.
You're just enjoying the music. You enjoying the artist, being the artist, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. I feel like it was even though in the Midwest that was just kind of our melting pot, how we took in music. So you able to rap the way you rap, all the syllable connecting, and you able to do that, but your favorite rapper is Gucci Mane. You know what I'm saying? That's my point. Like I'm able to rap how I rap, but like Uncle Murder is one of my favorite rappers to just personally listen to. You know what I'm saying? So it's we grew up a certain way where we can appreciate other music, even if it ain't what I would personally do. I can appreciate a Coast Contra freestyle, even though that's not how I'm going to rap. That's not the kind of rap I'm going to get in my car and listen to the majority of the time. But I understand the talent there. I understand what he's doing and how dope it is. I feel like now hip-hop fans say, I like this. You should do this too. Or if you can't do this, then you're not good as this. It's not like when we grew up where you can say, I like Eminem. I also like Cash Money. I rock with Juvenile. I like Lil Wayne, and I'm kind of feeling this song by Trinidad James. We had the ability to like all this different stuff, and nobody necessarily judged per se.
I ain't gonna lie, I got older and started being able to do that, especially when it come to like you say, a Lil Wayne versus Trinidad James type thing. Because back in the day, I wasn't listening to the East Coast stuff because Tupac didn't like them, and I was Tupac, so I'm not listening to Biggie and them because
I listen to everybody.
But this is high school years. I was.
It was like gangbanging back then. Like it was literally like gangbanging.
But as I got older, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, you know, and then you grow out of that like childish stuff. But it's still something to it because I still think to this day I don't like Jeezy as much because of Gucci.
See, bro,
I get
it because Gucci. I respect
Jeezy. I respect it, but 101 classic. I still bump that to this day. I still remember where I was when it was dope. I remember
that's one of the
just
best
moving up to Madison.
Hip hop albums of all time, bro.
Thug Motivation 101.
One of the top 25
Come on
hip
now,
hop albums ever made.
Get out of here. And then even with the album with Black President, The Recession, that was the other one.
Recession was a good album.
So
it wasn't top 25 hip hop, but Recession was a dope album.
A dope album. So I respect Jeezy and all of that, but Gucci just got way more. It's Gucci mixtapes that I put up against some of those. And anyways.
But it's the thing, though.
I think I don't respect Jeezy as much for that. Gucci, just on some fanship stuff.
On some fanship. Gucci's your favorite artist that you enjoy to take in. I would totally understand that. Now, me from the outside looking in, because neither one of them was my favorite, the music that you got in that window of them going through that, bro, they gave us some classic music, both of them. I think Thug Motivation is one of the top albums ever made in hip-hop. Yeah. But people be slipping. Gucci had some he did a lot of music, but he had some mixtapes in there. He had a couple little random independent albums he was throwing out. Some of it, it was like some BS in there.
Oh,
but if you remove some of that BS and just took the fire, bro, Gucci was giving you work in that same window.
That's another thing that probably could have lent to this fanfare, excuse me, this fanfare and this fanship. And the way that it shifted with the influence that the fans have. Because you have artists like that's putting out, that's going against the grain now. The internet hit. So now the industry can't gatekeep. The industry can't tell me that you got to go through this to make it or reach this person because I can reach that person on my own now. Or I can reach so many people that now you got to come fuck with me. I don't got to make a club
record now. So I don't have to do these things now. I can just put my music out and then reach who it reach.
So now essentially, and I hate saying this because it sounds like I'm going against because I don't want to agree with you, but it just makes sense. Now the fans can have a way bigger influence on what we doing and what gets celebrated and what's hot and what's coming out and what good music or good hip hop is. Because if I'm able to reach all these people on my own to a point where you looking at my numbers like I got to come fuck with him because he's competing with our numbers alone. And the way that this works is we control everything and he's a threat if he don't. Now it's going to get it's a whole nother thing, but we ain't going to get into that part of it, of you get down or lay down. But it's at least a conversation you got to have with this person, which in turn is the fans saying, we like this person so much, we like this music so much, and we all know the industry going to be like, oh, if that's what y'all like, more of that. So that's going to be celebrated, which is in turn giving more. No different than NBA. You got everybody out here wanting to shoot threes now because that's what Steph Curry doing. Just like back in the day, everybody wanted to dunk or do what Jordan was doing. In the music, in football, everybody want to run, be the quarterback, whatever, Patrick Mahomes type thing. Like it's the influence of what you see is hot. You're going to mimic that. And the fans do, as far as music go at least, they do have a big part of that. But it's also, oh man.
I think to your point though, like if the artist that's hearing these things and saying, okay, this was cracking, let me mimic it. The difference too, back historically it wasn't easy for you just to go into your bedroom, put a mic on and mimic it. Steal a beat off YouTube and mimic it. So now you got so many more people that's mimicking it.
Or put it out to everybody.
And put it out to everybody. Do it, mimic it. Now you don't need to like you say, you can put it out there and if it catch. Now you got a bunch of the same sounding stuff mimicked into what we listening to. Yep. So now when you have the person who is saying, no, I want mine to be different. I want to go do this. I'm going to sound this way. People saying like, you got some people that's going to say like, oh, I like that. There's people like, man, get that out of here. Like, we ain't listening to that. That sound dated. Or it's like, no, bro, artists are supposed to sound different. Yeah. You're supposed to be able to appreciate each artist for being them. It shouldn't be like everything has to sound the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, bro, it don't mean it's bad because it ain't what you want it to be. It's still good. It's just not what you want it to be, which it might not be for you.
Yeah.
It's the same conversation we was having about my man rapping in Spanish. Bro, it's not saying you not dope. You could have been saying some of the dopest stuff, but I can't get in my car and listen to captions.
I was just about to bring that up because I was going to say it works the same way, vice versa. Saying that something that I might not like or that something is bad don't mean that it's not good or don't have a place somewhere else. It's not for me. That's fine. I can see critiquing or being mad if I disrespect it in a wild way. But if I'm just saying like, yeah, I'm not feeling that, it's not for me, that don't mean that this is trash. But I appreciate you, taking my word so much and putting so much weight on
don't
what
put that much weight on my word.
It's not. I'm not saying that's trash. But with hip hop, that's how it is, and I get that too because I come from the lunchroom hip hop debates and all of that, sitting there in high school. Where if you're not with this way, you that way. I think it go like politics. It's like religion, politics, hip hop. Like
I feel like
they all in that same juggle. Where we don't even discuss that. I
feel like that goes to my point too. Like I feel like growing up for me, I feel like even you. Even I'm gonna say Tyler, because we was having a conversation pre-production. I feel like we're fans of hip hop. We're fans of rap. That's why I can love Jay-Z. I can love Fred the God. I can love Uncle Murder. I can love Scarface. I can love Luda. I can love all of these different stuff. I can love Drake, Uncle Luke. I can love Trick Daddy. I can love all these different things. Coogee Rap, 38 Special. I can love Griselda. I can love Bump J. I can love different artists. And it's fine because I'm a fan of hip hop. I feel now we have people that are fans of sounds or fans of artists. Yeah. And then they go so hard to defend that artist against anything else that you're not really being a fan of hip-hop, bro. Because being a fan of hip-hop, Jay-Z, one of my favorite rappers. Fred the God is one of my favorite rappers. Fred the Godson is one of the few rappers I would say, I ain't gonna say few. Fred the Godson is the only rapper I can think of I've never heard a whack verse from. Right?
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah, I'll give you that.
I've heard whack songs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's one of my favorite rappers. It don't mean...
And that's so hard for some people to understand. Yeah, I've definitely heard a whack song from this person. Mm-hmm. But on that song, the bars on there was
fire.
dope.
He still was...
Because you could take those bars and put them a cappella or somewhere else.
And it's going to sound fire as hell.
And this before we was even doing it. You could take those bars, put it on an a cappella car freestyle on Instagram, and that video might go viral with no beat because the bars is hot. So that's just, it's just, that's rap. That's hip-hop for you.
That's the culture. And I feel like we losing that now because people are saying, like, I know people that's big Kendrick Lamar fans. And you be like, yo, have you heard this? Oh, no, man, I be bumping this. I be listening. It's like, bro, that's only one style of hip-hop, though. Like, I can appreciate Harry Mack freestyling some of the most incredible bars I've ever heard somebody come up with off top of their head. But I can still appreciate Pete and Bass.
Now, the only pushback I give to that is that if it's a rapper and if you care that much and you want people to like it, then yeah, you do have to prove something to them or whatever. Like, if you're an artist like that and you dope and you like, damn, but these motherfuckers think I'm dope. They critiquing you. Yeah, he dope, but he don't do this. I commend the artist that's like, oh, you don't think I could do a story? Let's not forget Blueprint 2 when Jay-Z was going through his thing with Nas and he was hearing all that, you can't do a story, and he came back with that song, that story song he did on the Blueprint 2.
Was it good?
What I'm saying is,
I know what you're trying to do.
It only wasn't good. It only wasn't good because we comparing it to Nas. But I commend him being like, you saying I couldn't do a story, nigga. This is a song. It's a story. It rhymed and it went together. I might not be Joe Budden with the stories and be able to do a 12-minute novel with the stripper and the boyfriend and I might not be able to do that. But I can give you a story doing some raps, and because you're saying I can't do it, I'm about to do that. And that's what I think that rap is, because you're right. It wasn't the best, but I bet he won a few people over with it.
But this is my point, though. Why are you trying to do Nas better than Nas? That's what Nas do, bro. You ain't making a song about the bullet coming back into the gun and everything going backwards, bro. You're not doing that, bro. You're just not. You're not doing Lil Shorty. You're not doing that stuff, bro. That's not who you are, Jay. That's not who you are as an artist.
I can't even make no jokes, right? Because I don't remember what the story was in the song.
I know the story.
I know the song. I know the story.
It's a story about the kid coming back and
from the army or something, right?
He killed his dad at the end. His dad left him or something.
Yeah.
I can't even remember the song because I'm I'm a Jay fan, bro. I don't even remember the song. I don't even remember.
And it wasn't even that bad of a song.
It wasn't. It really wasn't bad. But it's like you know why he doing it. It's like, bro, I want Jay. I listen to Nas for Nas. I listen to Jay for Jay. I listen to Conway for Conway. I listen to Kendrick for Kendrick. I listen to Drake for Drake. Like, if I get in my car and bump Sincere Life, I know what I'm getting. If you get in your car and you put Dash on, you're not getting the same thing you're getting from Sincere Life, bro.
I'm not getting in my car getting ready for the turn up, going to the club and be like, hey, throw that Sincere Life on. I'm ready to think.
Hell no. I'm
ready to put these words together and these syllables and patterns.
I'm finna go in here with the mouthpiece of the year to these chicks. What you talking about? You know what I'm saying? It's not, bro. It's hip hop. Everything matters, bro. Man. Like, I know people that be like, all I bump is down south music. Like, bro, it's so much good music. You like shorten yourself, like, but fans have become that. You know what I'm saying? It has become that. It's become to where I like this type of music, and I only want the artist that's making this type of music. So everybody listening to is giving you the same frequency over and over again. And I think we started that years ago. Like,
oh, yeah,
it was remember the era of everybody had the singing song, the girl on the hook singing or the
radio
dude on the hook
programming,
singing.
bro.
And it was like at that time period, you had all the artists start trying to make the same type of music to get on. Only thing you had different at that time was battle rap. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Battle rap was cooking on the low, but at that time, everybody was making the same kind of music to try to get on the radio. The internet changed the game because now the internet, Soulja Boy. Let's keep it a buck. Just keep it a buck, right? You got to
He
give
was
him
the
his
first,
credit.
so we'll give him
He
his
was the
respect.
first one to take the internet and really find a way to get his music out there, whether he was changing the titles of songs and it would be his song. He figured it out. He blew up.
On a newer scale, Soulja Boy, though, with the whole everybody, this is the pattern and everybody doing it, it's a flooded pattern. You got to shout out to Russ, who is also
Absolutely.
independent, who figured out, okay, with this pattern, we finna every week do this. Every week we putting out a song to the
He
point
figured
to
out
where,
algorithms.
Yeah, to
Yep.
the point where he created his own thing, his own following to be next to all these people and these artists on an independent level and still owning all this stuff. So, and then also taught ownership to other artists. Like, y'all can do this too.
And let's not
taught
and let's
independence
not,
to a
and
lot
let's
of
not
artists
take
for
credit
real.
from
Low
Joe
key.
Budden. Because remember, Joe Budden was also one of he's one of the pioneers of realizing how to make content.
Yeah.
He might have been the first one that made content. He was actively rapping, actively signed, but was making content.
Always independent too, by the way.
Always
You had to
independent
go.
content.
I remember having to go to JoeBuddenTV.com.
Joe Budden TV,
You
yep.
couldn't just go to. You had
It was
to
him
go
and
to that
Tahiri
website.
and
Yeah. Trash 56K in my next to my kitchen, the little dining room, family computer, sitting there.
You having a moment?
Yeah, because I was finna say something wild. I couldn't tell y'all about the corn I was watching on in the
Please don't.
through the screens, but just it was wild back then in high school years. Anyways,
You see, I paused to see if you was actually gonna do it because I could see it in your face like you kind of wanted to do it.
I did, but I had to remember where I was, bruh. And they don't really like that here. But if y'all find us on Patreon, y'all can get all
The uncuts, uncensored.
Oh, man. If y'all enjoyed that last video, man, make sure that y'all subscribe, hit the like, and make sure y'all comment and let us know what y'all think about any future videos that y'all might see popping up around here. I've been Craig Smith, a.k.a. Sincere Life.
It's your boy Queese, a.k.a. Dash. Hit the like button, follow, put somebody on who'll put somebody on. And we out. Thistle.